We've been learning lots of sentences that use nouns up to this point. Today, we're going to learn how to make sentences with adjectives. But first, let's review sentences with nouns. How do we say, A is B? I know this is already way too easy for you.
A は B です。
For positive sentences like this, the pattern is the same whether B is a noun or an adjective. For example, let's try saying, this manga is interesting. Since manga is originally a Japanese word, it needs no explanation.
Manga.
You can already say, this manga, right? Hi, so this.
この漫画。
The adjective for interesting is
面白い。
Great job. Now, try saying, this manga is interesting. Wonderful.
この漫画は面白いです。
A great start. Was that a bit too easy? Next, let's turn this into a negative sentence. This manga is not interesting. To make it negative, change the E at the end of the adjective to ku and addないです. Let's practice.
この漫画は面白くないです。この漫画は面白くないです。
Very good. Now let's practice with some different words. Let's try, this room is hot. For room, we say
部屋。
And the adjective for hot is
暑い。
So, this room is hot, is nice.
この部屋は暑いです。
Then, what about, this room is not hot? Excellent.
この部屋は暑くないです。
Next, let's try, today is cold. For cold, we say
寒い。
Now, try saying, today is cold. Perfect.
今日は寒いです。
And, today is not cold. You're getting the hang of it.
今日は寒くないです。
Beautiful. Next, let's try this. Japanese is difficult. You can already say, Japan, right? Good.
日本。
Do you remember how to say, Japanese person? Hi, so this.
日本人。
Nice. For Japanese language, the part for person changes to the one for language.
日本語。
And the adjective for difficult is
難しい。
Now, let's try. Japanese is difficult. You're perfect.
日本語は難しいです。
Then, how about, Japanese is not difficult? Amazing.
日本語は難しくないです。
Very good. Now, how about this? Japanese is easy. We say easy like this.
簡単。
So, Japanese is easy, is very good.
日本語は簡単です。
Now, let's try. Japanese is not easy. Wait, there's no E at the end, is there? Actually, there are two types of adjectives in Japanese. One type ends with the hiragana, E, like we've practiced. The other type ends differently. Kanton belongs to this second group. For this type, the negative form is exactly the same as noun sentences. Do you remember how to say, A is not B? Right. There were a few variations.
A は B ではありません。A は B じゃありません。A は B ではないです。A は B じゃないです。
In today's lesson, we'll use the simplest one, ja nai desu. Now, try saying, Japanese is not easy. Great.
日本語は簡単じゃないです。
Perfect. Let's summarize what we've learned. Japanese adjectives come in two types. This classification is based on form and not the word's meaning. First, the type ending in e. These are often called i-adjectives. The others are called na-adjectives. You'll find out why they're called na later today. Na-adjectives are used just like nouns. On the other hand, i-adjectives form negatives differently.
難しくないです。
There are several ways to say the kunai desu part.
難しくはないです。難しくありません。難しくはありません。
We'll stick with the simplest one, kunai desu, for today. Here is why there are two types of adjectives. Originally, Japanese adjectives were all i-adjectives. At some point, nouns began to be used as adjectives to expand expression. Those became na-adjectives. This is just a historical and formal distinction. I know what you're thinking. This sentence is probably stuck in your head right now. Nihongo wa muzakashi desu. But hold on. This isn't just a unique feature of Japanese. Actually, English does the exact same thing. Think of i-adjectives as pure adjectives, like big or red. Na-adjectives, however, are nouns transformed. In English, you add suffixes like full or e to nouns. For example, peace becomes peaceful and health becomes healthy. Now, let's use adjectives to modify nouns. Do you remember how to say book? What a memory.
本、
Let's try a difficult book.
難しい本。
Nice. For i-adjectives, just place the adjective before the noun. Now, what about na-adjectives? Do you remember how to say easy? Correct.
簡単、
An easy book is said like this.
簡単な本。
When a na-adjective modifies a noun, na appears. This na is not a particle, but a part of the adjective itself. Remember how I mentioned that na-adjectives are like English words such as peaceful or healthy? Well, this na is the part that actually functions like the full or e in those words. It only appears when modifying a noun. Now you know why they're called na-adjectives. By the way, the negative forms look like this. A book that is not difficult.
難しくない本。
A book that is not easy.
簡単じゃない本。
Or,
簡単ではない本。
when modifying a noun like this, arimasen is not used in the negative form. Even in formal speech, only kunai and de wa nai are used. Ja nai is commonly used in everyday conversation. Now, let's do a little exercise. First, the model says an affirmative adjective. It is big.
大きいです。
Then, change it to a negative form. It is not big.
大きくないです。
Next, a noun will appear. Room.
部屋。
Then, modify that noun with the adjective. Big room.
大きい部屋。
Finally, modify it in the negative form. A room that is not big.
大きくない部屋。
Let's begin. It is delicious.
美味しいです。
It is not delicious.
美味しくないです。
Snack.
お菓子。
Delicious snack.
美味しいお菓子。
A snack that is not delicious.
美味しくないお菓子。
A great start. I am fine. Or, I am energetic.
元気です。
I am not fine. Or, I am not energetic.
元気じゃないです。
Person.
人。
Energetic person.
元気な人。
A person who is not energetic.
元気じゃない人。
It is expensive.
高いです。
It is not expensive.
高くないです。
Clothes.
服。
Expensive clothes.
高い服。
Clothes that are not expensive.
高くない服。
It is quiet.
静かです。
It is not quiet.
静かじゃないです。
Street.
通り。
Quiet street.
静かな通り。
A street that is not quiet.
静かじゃない通り。
Fantastic. Now, one last thing. Let's learn some adverbs of degree. We'll use this is expensive.
これは高いです。
Let's change it to this is very expensive.
これはとても高いです。
Totemo
とても。
corresponds to very in English. These are always placed before the adjective. Now, let's try. This is not very expensive.
これはあまり高くないです。
Amari
あまり。
is used only with negative forms. You can think of it as not very. One more. This is not expensive at all.
これは全然高くないです。
Zenzen
全然。
means not at all and is only for negatives. Let's practice them all.
これはとても高いです。これはあまり高くないです。これは全然高くないです。
Wonderful. We'll learn more adverbs as we go. Now, in the second half, let's practice conversations using the expressions you learned today. Today's dialogue is between Yamada-san and her neighbor. First, let's listen to the entire conversation.
おはようございます。おはようございます。今日は寒いですね。本当ですね。新しいお仕事は忙しいですか？いいえ、あまり忙しくないです。会社の方たちは優しいですか？はい、皆さんとても親切です。そうですか、それはいいですね。じゃあ、いってらっしゃい。行ってきます。
Let's go through the conversation line by line. When Yamada-san steps out of her house in the morning, she runs into a neighbor and exchanges morning greetings.
おはようございます。
This is the early morning greeting we learned earlier. Let's practice it.
おはようございます。
The neighbor greets her back the same way.
おはようございます。
Then Yamada-san says,
今日は寒いですね。
It's cold today, isn't it? This is the sentence we just practiced. The final, na, adds a nuance like, isn't it, to involve the listener. Let's practice.
今日は寒いですね。
Great. The neighbor replies.
本当ですね。
It really is. Honto is a noun meaning, truth. So the literal translation is, that's true. Let's practice.
本当ですね。
The neighbor continues.
新しいお仕事は忙しいですか？
Is your new job busy? It seems the neighbor knows that Yamada-san recently started a new job. Itterasshai means new.
新しい。
And shigoto means work or job.
仕事。
But when referring to someone else's job, it's more polite to say, oshigoto.
お仕事。
Isogashi means busy.
忙しい。
Let's say the whole sentence.
新しいお仕事は忙しいですか？
Nice. Yamada-san answers.
いいえ、あまり忙しくないです。
No, it's not very busy. We just learned about Amari, which means not very. Let's try it.
いいえ、あまり忙しくないです。
Excellent. The neighbor asks another question.
会社の方たちは優しいですか？
Are the people at your company nice? Ka-isha means company, but it can also mean workplace or office.
会社。
You already learned that kata is a polite way to say person. Adding tachi makes it plural, people. Japanese nouns don't usually have singular plural forms. But for people, adding tachi makes the plural clear. For example, adding tachi to watashi makes it we.
私たち。
And adding tachi to anata makes it you guys.
あなたたち。
So, ka-isha no kata tachi literally translates to company's people, which means the people at your company.
会社の方たち。
Yasashi is an i-adjective meaning gentle or nice.
優しい。
Let's practice.
会社の方たちは優しいですか？
Very good. Yamada-san replies.
はい、皆さんとても親切です。
Yes, they are all very kind. Mina-san is a polite way of saying everyone, or all.
皆さん、
Mina-san can be used as both a noun and an adverb, just like the English word, all. Here it's used as an adverb. Totemo means very, which we practiced earlier. And shinsetsu is a na-adjective meaning kind.
親切。
Let's practice.
はい、皆さんとても親切です。
Excellent. The neighbor responds.
そうですか、それはいいですね。
I see, that's nice. You already know, so desu ka? And ee is an i-adjective meaning good.
いい。
Here, sore is used as the subject. We learned that sore is a demonstrative that points to something close to the listener. Not only that, sore can also be used to refer to what the other person has just said. Let's practice.
そうですか、それはいいですね。
Wonderful. Then the neighbor sends her off with,
じゃあ、いってらっしゃい。
well then, have a good day. You know, ja. Itterasshai is a send-off phrase said to someone who is heading out. There is no exact equivalent phrase in English. Literally, it means, go and come back, and it can be used for people going out for a short trip, or for people going on a long journey. Let's practice.
じゃあ、いってらっしゃい。
Yamada-san replies as she leaves for work.
行ってきます。
I'm off. Ittekimasu is the standard phrase said by the person who is leaving. This is also an expression unique to Japanese, so it is difficult to translate accurately into English. Literally, it means, I'll go and come back. So it's usually used when you're going out for work, school, shopping, or other things with the intention of coming back. Let's practice.
行ってきます。
Excellent. Now let's practice the whole conversation. First, listen to each line and repeat it.
おはようございます。おはようございます。今日は寒いですね。本当ですね。新しいお仕事は忙しいですか？いいえ、あまり忙しくないです。会社の方たちは優しいですか？はい、皆さんとても親切です。そうですか、それはいいですね。じゃあ、いってらっしゃい。行ってきます。
Next, let's do a role play. In part 1, please play the role of Yamada-san. In part 2, switch roles and play the neighbor. Alright, let's begin. Hajime.
おはようございます。本当ですね。新しいお仕事は忙しいですか？会社の方たちは優しいですか？そうですか、それはいいですね。じゃあ、いってらっしゃい。おはようございます。 今日は寒いですね。いいえ、あまり忙しくないです。はい、皆さんとても親切です。行ってきます。
Great work, everyone! Up until now, we've been practicing how to talk about the present, but in our next lesson, we'll try talking about the past. See you again.
ではまた。